Tell me what you were talking about with the...
Okay, so a little while back went to a doctor, because I was like, noticed I had a couple little, thought it was called warts, but they said they're skin tags. Like if you never had them, you don't know what I mean, but you get the skin tags, and they was down there below my balls there in that area. So they weren't too bad, but on hot days when you're doing a lot of physical work there, your shorts would rub them, and then they'd get irritated, and it was kind of like irritated there. You had them there, but you tried to ignore them, but then they was there. So one day I went to a doctor for other stuff there, and I went ahead and said, hey, I said, described to her, and she said, oh hell, they're skin tags. I said, skin tags? She said, like, yeah, old people get them under their arms and shit. And I laughed because I was like, hell, I didn't think I was that old. And she said, hell, I can remove them. I says, well, what does that consist of? And she said, oh hell, I'll just go ahead and remove them. So she said, why don't you come back later on in the week and we'll do this here. I said, okay. So she had her assistant withdrew some blood and all. Well, let's get stuff back to my doctor. She, worst looking doctor I ever had. Nice looking, really. Young and all. So I go home a couple days later and wash myself, took a good shower, because I ain't going to go ahead and have her drop my shorts there, and she's going to see this. So I go wash, take my shower and all. I go to a doctor, and she's like, okay, here, come in here. And she went ahead and tried to make me feel like I'm okay there. So I had shorts on, and she said, well, you got to take your shorts off. Well, I had boxers on, like short boxers. So she says, well, you take them off, or you can go ahead and just pull them aside. So I'm like, okay. So I sat up there on her examination table there. She goes, gets the stuff, comes back with a fucking scalpel. I was like, what the fuck's a scalpel for? She said, well, I'm going to cut them off. And I'm like, okay. So she had a bunch of long-handled Q-tips there, and they was dipped in some solution there, supposed to stop it from bleeding. So I'm like, okay, everything's okay there. So she says, well, okay, get yourself in position. Well, I fucking throwed my legs open. Fucking, I got my hands down there, one holding my shaft, one holding my balls, and I'm fucking like raising them up and have the shorts, like boxers, pulled to the one side. And I was like, fucking, here's this person, never saw me in that position before, and I'm kind of like, wow, check this out. If I was drinking, it would probably calm me down, but I'm like there. So she turns around and she's like looking. She said, oh yeah, you got a couple of them there. I'll take them all off. I'm like, okay. And then I'm like watching her with a scalpel and all. Well, she like dipped some iodine or solution down there. Then she gets a scalpel there and tweezers, and she's pulls the first one out, pulls it out, and I'll tell you, I didn't think that thing would stretch that far. So then she takes that scalpel, zoop, cuts it, and then she dabs it with the fucking Q-tip, and then she's dabbing it with the other Q-tip. I guess it was blood stop one there, and it's a fucking bleeding good. And she's, oh my, you're a bleeder, and she's keep on doing it, and she says, here, put your finger here, okay, put pressure there, right? Walks out the room and comes back with this thing. It kind of looked like a fucking dildo almost, but here it was a electric cauterized gun. So she said, okay, move your hand. Well, I'll fucking move my hand, and she fucking sticks that tip of that down there, and it fucking, you just smell your fucking skin cooking. It's fucking nasty. It's like, not like a fucking burnt steak. It's And I'm like, holy shit, this stinks. And she's like right down there. Like it's like the smoke, steam or whatever you want to call it. Just, and she's like really into her work there. And then I'm kind of like really surprised and all. Okay, that one stopped bleeding. And then she's just like, okay, we'll get to this other one over here, this big one over here. So I'm moving my junk around, and I got big balls. And one of my nuts fucking slipped through my fucking hand. Like she's down there, got the scalpel and all, and here my nuts filled out and all, and it droops over top of the skin tag. Well, I'm like, yo, I only got 2 hands, and I'm thinking, how the fuck can I grab them out? By that time, she just takes her fucking thumb and whoop, shoots on that motherfucker, pushes him back up in my hand. There you go. He was getting away from you. and I'm like about ready to crack up laughing because I was like, Jesus Christ. She just took the direct approach. There he is. He's back in there now. Keep him in. Like I was leaving the dog out, you know. So she takes the tweezers and the scalpel and zoop, hits the next one. And the whole time I'm like really holding on my junk quick. Because she's got that scalpel and I'm like, Jesus Christ, my nut fucking slips out again. It could be like a fucking, like a squirter again.